It's heavy.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Reaction Beanie Yo 104.7. Day in that neighborhood, my brothers and sisters. Hey, bro, check this out for real, y'all. One of the most fascinating topics, I think, like subjects as far as this true crime shit go, is cults. Like, we watch videos about cults, bro. It's just so fascinating to me how all these people can believe in one person and the evil shit that they do. They like this dude doing or this lady doing fucked up shit, but y'all think it's the greatest shit in the world. Like, y'all think God sent him to do this. And you know what I'm saying, bro? It fascinates me how people follow behind the cult leader like that. Especially when they get to the point where they will kill for their cult leader. Or they'll even commit suicide for their cult leader, bro. That shit be crazy. We just watched the video from Anna Sauls about David Koresh. If y'all ain't seen that one, go see that one, bro. Mind blowing. And we finna get into another one right now. From our boy, Mike, from that chapter. Going back to Mike, man. Going back to Mike, my ladies and gentlemen. And the title of this video is The Murderous Children of Thunder Cult. What the hell is Thunder Cult? And they said murderous children. Like, this finna be on some Children of the Corn-ish. Y'all know what Children of the Corn is, man? Hey, that was some crazy ass movies back in, I want to say, what, 80s, 90s? Children of the Corn, crazy. I digress. We finna get into it, man. But before we get into it, my people, y'all know what y'all got to do. Get whatever you may need. Get what you need, man. We going back to Mike, bro. Finna get into another one of these crazy cult stories. Y'all got what y'all need? Y'all ready to go? Then let's fucking go.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike. And in this whole video, what I'm doing is I'm gonna take you on an experience. It's quite the story, and it revolves around a young fella named Helzer. Two of them, actually. They were brothers and equally, like, as up to no good as each other. And together, they decided to form, like, a little club, little gang, name of Children of Thunder. That does actually sound pretty badass, but unfortunately, they're not taking any new members. Aw shucks. You'll see why, because Taylor and his brother Justin created the Children of Thunder. Taylor believing himself a prophet. And they had pretty nefarious plans for, America, just like, in general. They didn't get that far though, but they did get quite a few people in California in the year 2000. This story is insane. I mean, crazy cults, have been around for a while, but this one is right up there. You got the bizarre, charismatic leader, you got his even wackier brother, who was not a fan of his own, eyes. You got the 12 principles of magic. And then you got the, whoever was in their way, they would make sure they were not. Real quick. So, before we get into this one, please subscribe to see new crime videos from yours truly every week.
Subscribe.
Now let's give it a go.
And let's give it a go. And get whatever you may need.
There are like a lot of places that this particular story, could begin. Be it fishing duffel bags out of the Sacramento River Delta, or police following up on gunshots they heard coming from a house, or we could begin with the birth of Taylor Helzer. I think I'll begin there.
Let's do it.
Glenn Taylor Helzer was born on the 26th of July, 1970, into a very devout Mormon family, big into the church, so they were. His dad Jerry was an insurance salesman, his mother Karma, housewife and physical therapist. Taylor. Now, his first name was actually Glenn, but everybody just called him his middle name, Taylor, so I'll join in. He was the oldest of three. He had a younger sister, Heather, and a younger brother, Justin, who was 2 years younger than himself. Growing up, his family moved around quite a bit. They would be in Georgia, they would be in Texas, a lot of the southern states, before settling into northern California. Contra Costa County specifically. According to the book Unholy Sacrifice by Robert Scott, as a youth, people were drawn to him, charismatic with a big C. Even the local Mormon bishop said he had great things coming for him. In like a Charles Manson though, kind of sort of way, like great as in big, not great as in positive. No way.
Damn.
My man over here, he kept it real, he kept it a buck, he kept it a full 100 in every aspect of his life, and we'll see a lot of it. He had a big presence not only in the lives of people around him, but also in the LDS Church. Also, and he was kind of looked up to by a lot of people, and he was, at this stage, he was positive. He tried to foster tolerance and understanding. If somebody was shit-talking, he'd be like, whoa, take a chill pill. His younger brother, Justin, not quite the same. Where Taylor was popular, Justin not so much. Not many friends, pretty shy. Now, Taylor, growing up, he actually spent quite a bit of time with his maternal grandfather, who, he was a bit odd. His maternal granddad said he saw Jesus in his garden, like all the time, and would just be shooting the shit with him. That made Taylor even more religious, as he felt he was near this kind of presence, and he began to see the world in like black and white, and he began to have guilt even over his own normal human failings. He was pretty strict in that way. And then when he was 14, he began hearing voices in his head.
Oh,
Nothing bad
shit.
comes of that, am I right? He wasn't sure if it was God or Satan or whoever. Could have been the dog. But, from his youth, he was always told he was special, he was a special little guy, and now he began to really believe it himself when he heard a presence speak to him. He later joined the National Guard in Texas after high school. He was a little shocked when he joined the National Guard by like all the other, soldiers would be drinking, smoking, and philandering. He was like, what? Jesus, this is new to me. He tried to like preach them out of it, but I don't think he was too successful. And then he went, as part of being a member of the Latter-day Saints, he went on a mission. He went missionarying to Brazil, to Brasilia. Yeah, he was gone for 2 years. When he came back, he was not quite the same. See, when he was down there spreading the word, and the word is the bird, people really, people would kind of flock to him. People really, he was a charismatic guy, preaching the good word. And so people kind of began to idolize him. And that would rub off on him. Not in a good way, though, at all. Not on a man who already thought he was special. So as I said, he would eventually come back to America 2 years later, a little bit different, maybe. Just like a tad, a few screws loose. Maybe so. See, he had begun to think. He'd been doing some thinking. He thought, world's going to hell in a handbasket. Mad Max is a documentary. Better buckle up, buckaroos, because the apocalypse is coming. He had visions of like these warrior priests who would need to go around doing stuff. And he thought technology was like a load of bollocks. So at this point, he was hearing voices. He already thought he was pretty close to the big guy upstairs. He was idolized by, people in Brazil, and so he was already kind of told he was special from a kid, so it's like a recipe kind of for a shit sandwich. And he thought the church itself was going off track. It wasn't prepared for what was coming, and buddy, you better believe if you're not with him, you're against them. But, of course, he tried to keep the crazy inside.
Shit, that's the thing, bro. It's like, I ain't gonna lie, bro, it's like he kinda on the good path right now still, but it's so many like detours and distractions out there. You know what I'm saying, bro? It's so many bad signs out there, bro, that I feel like he gonna finally gone off the good path and just become a fucking maniac, bro. He hearing voices in his head. What else? He went to Brazil. Everybody idolizing him. He already thought he was special. Now they gave him the big head. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like it's signs there that just let you know that this is not gonna end well. Let's go.
And when he returned, he would marry a woman named Anne in 1993. He got a job as a stockbroker with Morgan Stanley, a job he got through Anne's uncle, and he would have 2 daughters. Meanwhile, his brother Justin, who himself had spent months in Texas, worked as a cable installer. And Justin and Taylor were close. From youth, Justin looked up to Taylor, and that wouldn't change as he aged. Since there were kids, Karma, the mother who ran the Helzer family, said butter wouldn't melt in Taylor's mouth, while Justin was just forgotten about.
Damn.
So, Taylor, he had the stockbroker job, he had the wife, he had the 2 kids, a fairly just normal life. And then he decided having a fairly normal life, not for him. Maybe a few beers, chatting up chicks, partying a little bit, maybe that was the sort of thing he was more interested in. See, once again, we have one of these stories where the guy spends his whole life, preaching against don't be drinking, don't be smoking, don't be doing drugs, don't be chasing after chicks, that's all moral decay. You do that kind of stuff, you're going to HE double hockey sticks. But can I have some? So he got into that, and Justin, who always looked up to him, followed. They also did this self-help program called Impact. Now, I'm not entirely sure what exactly it is. It's kind of a word salad. It seems you play a lot of these kind of like philosophical games and you come out with Stockholm Syndrome thinking you had a great time. But it does seem to help people raise their own self-awareness. But I mean, Taylor was a guy who already had quite a lot of self-awareness. That wouldn't be good for someone like him. It seems to be a place where they break you down, and then they, like the army, but then they rebuild you. I don't know what into. But again, it's another thing to add to Taylor. Helzer becoming an absolute nutbar. So Taylor.
Exactly, bro. It's shit just building up, bro. It's building up. At first he used to preach against doing drugs and drinking alcohol and all that, and now he doing that shit. Plus what he got going on with his brother, everything is just building up, bro. It's just building up.
Taylor's family, they would eventually leave him, or rather, he left them. This was due to him. He would start going out to clubs all the time, hooking up with women, drinking all the time, partying all the time, and he also got really big into this self-help awareness shite, all that kind of stuff. He eventually left his job, the job he had in Morgan. Okay, he didn't actually leave it. He got on disability. He pretended he was having a mental breakdown. He didn't have to pretend. He also lost his love of the church, but not his beliefs, and he would be excommunicated from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints due to his behavior. But that wouldn't keep a good dog down. Now he believed himself a prophet who would usher in the second coming of Jesus. He believed it quite a lot, to the point where remember the voices, so he'd be chatting away to people, and they'd be like, shh, big guy's talking to me. And then he would meet a woman named Carrie Furman. Carrie was a waitress in a diner at the time, and when one day she got the biggest tip of her life, well, it just so happened to have been given to her by one Taylor Helzer. And from then on, they were together. She had a troubled youth, she had been in abusive relationships, and so when Taylor met her and he gave her the old love bomb, well, he had her right there. She was smitten by it. He would give her half-hour-long hugs, which just sound frankly annoying as shit. He would talk her up. He would give her confidence. They would go partying together. He eventually got her pictures sent into Playboy, which, hey lads, do yourselves a favor. They would party. They would take ecstasy together. He would get her involved in that impact training, and he would eventually kind of take over her life. His brother was fully involved with all of this stuff too. They would sell drugs to get by.
What?
He even had this idea of setting up a high-end escort business. Classic profit move. Carrie.
Okay, now he just got off the path. Now y'all, this man went from a church going man to selling drugs, bro. This man went from preaching at a church, bro, to selling drugs, bro, and potentially trying to set up a fucking escort ring or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, he off the path.
She eventually had enough of this and she fled, fearing for her life in the year 2000, but by this stage, she was replaced by another woman who had joined the Helzer brothers' little self-believing Jesus Christ coming movement. Her name was Dawn Godman. What a name. She was a recent convert to Mormonism, and she met Taylor, not knowing that he himself had actually been excommunicated from the church at this stage. Dawn herself, though, was vulnerable, had been through difficulties with drugs and self-harm, and would be easy prey for a guy like Taylor. So by this stage, by the year 2000, Taylor, Justin, and Don were fully on the prophet train, the second coming. We need to, we're launching a cult train, basically. Skip the words. Dawn was taken in through this hook, line, and sinker. She said that, when she was with Taylor, she felt like a child in a parent's arms, and that, when she met him for the first time, she saw guardian angels, swirling around him. Wow,
What?
that's cute. So she then
Really?
was one, as Taylor called himself and his followers, all two of them. They were the Children of Thunder. They also had to abide by Taylor Helzer's 12 principles of magic, which include: 1. I am already perfect and therefore can do nothing wrong. 2. There is no such thing as right and wrong. 3. I am all-powerful and therefore the creator of and accountable for everything that occurs in my life. 4. Life is always right. I embrace all my results. 5. All my results I've created to learn from at some level. 6. I know nothing. I believe nothing. I simply perceive without fear. 7. It is of no concern to me how accurate or inaccurate my perceptions are, and therefore I am always right. 8. Unconditional fearless love is the most powerful force in the universe. 9. Spirit knows. They sure do. 10. I gain total control by losing all control. 11. Life is such a precious gift, and when I give back to life, immediately life gives more back to me, and therefore I am forever in its debt. What goes around comes around. 12. There is a higher power than mine, and that is my Savior, Jesus Christ, the Son of my Father.
Bro, it's so much contradictory in these, what it is, 12 principles of magic, or the 12 crack bullshit commandments, or whatever you want to call it, bro. It's so much contradictory, and like, just what are you talking about, dude? What are you talking about, bro? Let's go.
That's a lot of words for saying kind of nothing at all. But now
Exactly.
Taylor, he had enough of being a nobody, and he wanted to change the world, beginning with the good old US of A. So to do so, to enact his plan of ushering in a new age and the coming of the Lord and all that sort of stuff, well, he needed money. He needed money to do it, but he already had an idea for money, and I'll get to that in a second. But what he then needed to do was launder said money, because there's still like rules and laws, bloody hell. He wasn't a fan of that stuff. So he needed a new victim, and he found one in Selena Bishop. Selena was the daughter of Jennifer Valerian and musician Elvin Bishop. I actually had no idea who Elvin Bishop was. I'm sure a lot of you do, but I didn't. For those who also don't know, you probably would have heard his most famous song, 1975's Fooled Around and Fell in Love. It's a good song, Spotify it. Now, Jennifer and Elvin split when Selena was young, so Jennifer raised her mainly by herself. And now, 22-year-old Selena met 30-year-old Taylor. Though he never mentioned the Children of Thunder to her, he introduced himself as Jordan, because he didn't want her to join. He wanted her to be a victim of him. She was just so smitten with him, and so what he needed her to do, and what she did, was to open a bank account for him in her name that was money laundering for him. But he told her, oh, open it for me because my ex-wife, the bloody ex-wife, she's after me for my money, so I need to hide it with you. See, what Taylor wanted to do, what his plan was to usher in this new age, was to go to Brazil, remember, where he had been kind of idolized, and then find orphans and turn them into attack children to go and murder the leadership of the Church of Latter-day Saints, and then he could take over the church, and then he could probably take over America, because that's how it works. His ultimate...
Okay, now I said he was off his rocker, he off the path. Man, he done goddamn drove that bitch into a fucking ditch and flipped it over, bro. Or drove that bitch into the ocean, bro. I ain't lying, bro. Drove it off a bridge now, like he dead. Like, you know what I'm saying, man? That man crazy as hell, bro. This man trying to go get children to attack people. What? How do you even think that's gonna work? Let's go.
The aim was good, so, of course, like, he was always, end justifies the means kind of guy. And he just wanted to create a state of joy and peace across America. What a guy. So how he was going to get said money was via Ivan and Annette Steinman. They were an elderly couple and former clients of Taylor from his stockbroker days, and he knew they had money. He was going to extort from them mucho dinero. So Taylor, Justin, and Dawn, they rocked up to the Steinman home wearing suits, good old Mormons that they wear, and then they forced the Steinmans at gunpoint to write them checks, 2 checks totaling $100,000, payable of course to Selena Bishop, the unwitting launderer. Then the Steinmans were forced to take Rohypnol, and they bashed Ivan's head off the ground and slit Annette's throat. Then they hacked them up into pieces, with Dawn holding the severed heads, while Justin bashed out their teeth.
Okay, bro, y'all did not have to do all that, dude. You just get the money and leave the fucking people alone, bro. You shouldn't be doing none of this shit, but listen to all that shit, bro. They cut them up into pieces and all that, bro. Y'all doing the absolute fucking most. Like, really, bro? Y'all motherfuckers just crazy and stupid ass bitches.
Then they had a bit of an outbreak, thanking the Steinmans for their sacrifice. Then Taylor sent Dawn down to the bank to try and cash that check. He sent her in this outfit, really bizarre outfit, in a wheelchair also for some reason. But the bank wouldn't process it without a personal confirmation from the Steinmans. The Steinmans, who were now in pieces in the Sacramento River.
Wow.
Oops. So the plan was kind of screwed already, but they still had to cover their tracks. So Selena had to go. Jordan met Selena at a bar. They had planned to go to Yosemite camping the next day. So Jordan took Selena back to his house. And he was like, I'll give you a massage, baby girl. And while she was lying down on her front, Justin came up with a hammer and bashed her brains in.
Crazy, bro.
Then her throat was slit, and she too was chopped up. To also try and help with the removal of any identification, her tattoo was cut off, fed to the dog. But he wasn't done yet because Taylor was very thorough about his plan, a plan that was now gone to shit. See, Selena had her introduced to Taylor to her mother, Jennifer. And so, well, he was like, somebody else knows who I am, or at least knows my face. She knows me as Jordan, but she knows what I look like. And Selena's mother, Jennifer, also knew about the opening of the bank accounts, and yada yada yada, where he lived, that sort of thing. He also knew that Selena had asked her mother to house sit while they were supposed to be going to Yosemite. So he snuck over to the house in the middle of the night, and while Jennifer was asleep in bed, there with her boyfriend, James Gamble, he shot them dead as they slept.
God
Neighbors heard,
damn!
and they called 911. So this thing did not go to plan at all, as the Children of Thunder intended. They didn't get the money they needed, which was the whole point of the plan. Jennifer and James were found right away. Neighbors heard the gunshots. The Steinmans were reported missing also right away as their children, their daughter. She was trying to get in touch with them repeatedly and couldn't. Selena was reported missing because she, the police knew that Jennifer and James were in her house, and then Selena didn't show up for her work. So this kind of went to shit, like, right off the bat. I imagine Taylor and Justin shitting themselves with great relish. The police were able to link Jordan with being Taylor when they found Selena's pager and phone numbers that were linked on that. They were traced back to where the Helzers were living. Then, speaking with others, Jordan, he lives here, he lives with his brother, and kind of piecing various bits together. Like, as I said, Taylor never introduced himself, but people knew what he looked like. He knew he lived with his brother, and odds and ends about him. So the police showed up to where the Helzers were living. Taylor, Justin, and Dawn tried to make a run for it. They tried and failed. At one point, Taylor, he ran into a neighbor's house, he grabbed his scissors, he held her hostage, but it didn't work out.
This turned stupid, bro.
Inside the Helzer house, police realized something was very wrong by how little actually was. The carpets replaced. The bathroom, spick and span. They found papers with Selena's name, and with the Steinmans, so things were becoming pretty clear. Clear again when witnesses saw the Helzer car outside the Steinmans, and toll booths could say they had driven to dump some duffel bags. Later, 9 bags were pulled from the Sacramento Delta, containing the body parts of Selena and the Steinmans.
Damn, man.
Taylor, Justin, and Dawn were all charged with the murders. Taylor did try and take credit for everything. He wanted to get his brother and Don off. He pled guilty, but the prosecutor was like, no, you're not getting off. You're not getting off that easy. While in jail, awaiting trial, Dawn, she would be deprogrammed. She would stop seeing Taylor as like this like visionary, embodiment of like God or whatever. So she kind of was like, oh shit. She would then become a key witness against the Helzer brothers. Ultimately, Taylor would get 5 death sentences for his actions. Justin, 3 death sentences and 2 life in prisons.
Good.
Dawn, as she testified against the brothers, got 37 years in prison. This story is absolutely insane to the end. Probably even today, Glenn Taylor Helzer still believes himself to be like a prophet or something like that. He's never once said, I might have been just going a bit, end up there for a while, but no, he probably still believes it today. Dawn, upon realizing the truth that he was just full of shite, she's probably not feeling too peachy keen on kind of what she was getting up to and like murdering 5 people. Justin, unfortunately, he is no longer with us, I'm sad to say. Yeah, get this. So in 2010, he'd been in prison for about 5 years. The trial was in 2005. In 2010, he was just like, I'm sick of this, So what he did, he got 2 pens, and he kind of,
Wow.
He stabbed himself in the eyes with pens. I'm guessing he tried to get to his brain and kill himself. He was unsuccessful. Instead, he was successful in horrifically blinding himself, and that was about it. But then 3 years later, he, second time lucky, I guess, because he did kill himself. He hung himself with bed sheets. So there you go. Shout out to him for that one. So yeah, that's the story of the Insanity and Children of Thunder cult. Yeah, it's insane. It's weird. It's like a lot of those serial killers who hear voices in their heads, but they're like, hey, join in. I mean, Taylor was told from when he was a baba that he was just hot shit. He was just shit. Thank you so much for watching.
Yeah, Taylor was just shit. That's like, he wasn't hot shit. He was just shit and a lunatic and a murderer and just a fucked up ass human being, bro. But his brother, Justin, I think, ain't that his name, y'all? His little brother who hung himself. They go another case of motherfuckers do the crime, but they don't want to do the time. You know what I'm saying, bro? I hate when these motherfuckers commit these murders and shit. Then they go to prison and kill themselves. Or even before they go to prison, they kill themselves. You know what I'm saying? But I truly believe, bro, just because you kill yourself, boy, it's something after this. After this life, it's something. And whatever it is, if you do some fucked up shit like that, you gonna get what you deserve. I really believe that, bro. He still gonna get what he deserves, bro. Whether he kill himself or not. What else, man? There was some, and I see, as far as the cult shit go, bro, it was only 3 people in this cult. Now, it can't be 3 people in a cult. You know what I'm saying? It was just a very small cult. But I was thinking more like because when he started talking about he was a preacher and shit at the church, I was thinking he was talking about like David, like he had a whole bunch of people following him. But just the people that he had following him had me like, oh man, bro, like, bro, you look up to your big brother that much where you gonna believe in bullshit? Later, you looking at this man talking about that you seeing, what she said, she saw angels around him or something. Like, damn, god, then dude just went off the path so hard, bro. It just get worse and worse to the point where he got to this level, bro. And I hate the fact that for him to try to claim he killing people to cover his tracks. Like Selena, she died so they wouldn't know that, about the bank account shit. Then he thought, damn, well, her mama know me too, so now I gotta go kill her. Like, dude, bro, what the fuck, bro? I don't believe you trying to cover your track. I believe these motherfuckers was just murderers, bro. Especially how they murdered them old people, man. Them elderly couple, bro. Why in the hell you cutting their body up and doing all that extra ass shit, bro? Why you doing all that, bro? Why you even killed them in the first place, bro? And I feel like it's sad as fuck when anybody die. You know what I'm saying? Especially get murdered. That shit fucked up and sad anyway. And it's sad when young babies and young children die, but I also feel like it's it's a little something, I ain't gonna say extra, but it's a little something different that you feel for like old people like that, bro. Because they have lived all these fucking years. Those people look like they was in a late 70s, 80s type range, bro. You know what I'm saying? You lived all these years just to one day get murdered. After all these goddamn years you been on that earth, bro, and how you end up murdered. I think that shit fucked up too, man. There was a good one though, bro. There was a good one, man. I'm glad y'all came back and fuck with me on it, man. I'm gonna let y'all get up out there, bitch. Now, just hit that like button, subscribe, comment, all that good shit right there. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. But until then, my friends, the Bean Baby, legend.